never thought I'd be telling this story, or living it. For most of my life, I believed I understood myself, my morals, my limits, what I'd never dare to do. But sometimes life shatters the version of you that you've carefully built. Sometimes you find yourself standing on the edge of a line you never imagined crossing, and then realizing you already have. The story begins with my husband, Daniel. He's a good man, dependable, steady, the kind of man who always remembers to lock the doors at night and fill up your car before a long drive. For years, that steadiness felt like safety. We had a quiet, beautiful life. Laughter over morning coffee, weekend trips, the kind of comfort that comes from routine. But over time, comfort became distance. Our love didn't die, it just faded. The spark that once lit every glance and every touch dimmed into something quieter, almost invisible. I didn't go looking for anything outside our marriage. I never thought I'd even notice someone else, until Adam. He worked with Daniel, confident and charming in a way that seemed effortless. At first it was innocent, a few harmless smiles, brief conversations that lingered a little too long. But his attention stirred something in me that I hadn't felt in years, the feeling of being seen. I told myself it was nothing. But soon, the small things, a look, a word, a brush of his hand, started to feel like secrets. It was like living with a storm quietly forming in the distance, knowing one day it might break, and it did. When Daniel went out of town on a short business trip, Adam sent a message. Drinks? I knew what it meant. I knew what I was risking, and still, I said yes. That night changed everything. What happened between us wasn't just a mistake. It was a moment that fractured me. Because for the first time in years, I felt something real, something raw. It wasn't love, it was escape. And yet, the guilt that followed was unbearable. I told myself to forget. I buried it, locked it away where even my thoughts couldn't touch it. For 4 years I carried that secret, smiling beside Daniel as if nothing had changed. But something had. Because every time he touched me, I remembered what it felt like to be wanted. Not just loved, but desired. Over time, that memory turned into a quiet ache. I didn't want Adam anymore. I wanted the closeness I'd lost with Daniel. The spark, the connection, the intensity that once existed between us. But how do you tell your husband, the man who's given you everything, that something still feels missing? One night, after a glass of wine and too much silence, I finally tried. He was watching a documentary, half asleep on the couch, and I leaned into him, my voice barely a whisper. I think we should work on us. Make our connection stronger. He looked at me, confusion clouding his eyes. You're not happy? I am, I said quickly. I love you. I just think maybe we could be more. The hurt on his face nearly broke me. He thought I wanted him to change who he was, that I was asking for something impossible. Am I not enough for you? He asked softly. I couldn't answer. Not the way he needed me to. Because I didn't want someone different. I just wanted us back. The silence that followed lasted weeks. I thought I'd destroyed everything. Then one night, Daniel came home late. He sat beside me quietly and said, I've been thinking, reading about ways we can reconnect. I want to try. Tears blurred my vision. I didn't deserve his patience or his love. But in that moment, I realized something. What I'd been searching for wasn't found in someone else. It was always supposed to be here, with him. I just hadn't known how to reach for it again.